The year is 1994. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System was the best-selling game console of the era, and Nintendo wanted to push its technical capabilities. Most early Super Nintendo games looked like this. Pure 16-bit sprites that never really popped out. Super Mario Kart looked kinda three-dimensional, but that was mostly a perspective trick with the magic of Mode 7. Everything's still a 2D sprite. This changed with the development of enhancement chips like the Super FX chip, used in games like Star Fox and Stunt Race FX. While visually impressive, especially for the time, it still had a lot to be desired. Everything looks a little too blocky, mostly because it's just 2D polygons arranged three-dimensionally. This changed with Donkey Kong Country, developed by Rare using advanced SGI chips to create 3D sprites. Once Nintendo saw the capabilities of CGI graphics, they teamed up with Scottish developer DMA Design to create Uniracers, known as Unirally in Europe. If you've never heard of DMA Design, you might recognize them under their current name, Rockstar. That's right, the same company that made GTA made Uniracers. Uniracers should have been an overnight success, but it wasn't.
Oh no!
I never even heard of it until I was researching underrated Super Nintendo games. What went wrong? DMA was sued by Pixar, yes, really, because they claimed the unicycle design in Uniracers plagiarized the unicycle from their 1987 short film Red's Dream. Sure, they definitely look similar, but it wasn't plagiarism. Mike Daly, co-founder of DMA, had this to say in a Nintendo Life article from 2010. We modeled the unicycle exactly based on a real-life unicycle. The problem with Pixar was that they seemed to think that any computer-generated unicycle was owned by them. They took footage from Red's Dream and compared it to Unirally, and the unicycles were virtually the same. This isn't a big surprise, as there's not a lot of ways you can bring life to a unicycle without looking like the one Pixar did. The judge, being the moron he was, agreed. DMA was forced to cease production and only 300,000 cartridges are known to have been made. Although that doesn't mean it's rare. Nintendo Age gives the game a 3 for rarity, which means very common. It's also certainly not expensive. I paid an average price for this. It's all supply and demand. Supply is low, demand is low, so prices are low.
Alright, you heard me talk about the history of the game, but now let's actually check out the gameplay, because really, that's what actually matters.
When you turn on the game, the first thing you'll notice is the awesome music. It gets a little repetitive after a while, but come on, you just can't hate electronic rock. The second thing you'll notice is that all the unicycles are the same, but with different colors. You can name them whatever you want, and since I was recording this not too long after Endgame came out, boom. There are 9 tours that each have 5 tracks, and each of those tracks has a bronze, silver, and gold opponents equaling 135 races. The first and fourth are regular races, the second and fifth are circuits, and the third is all about stunts. You can really say the entire game is about stunts because you're not winning the races without them. The tracks are two-dimensional and you navigate them by simply holding left and right. Some obstacles include poison and ice on the ground, loops that change direction, paths that force direction, and walls that can only be passed with a trick. Speaking of tricks, here's a breakdown. After you jump, hold the trigger button that's the same as the direction you're going to do a roll and the opposite trigger button to do a flip. I'm not sure of the exact science, but rolls are seemingly easier than flips. Personally, I just use the R button regardless of direction. Pressing X while in the air will make you do a Z flip. Holding left, then right, or vice versa is a twist. Successfully performing a trick will cause your unicycle to speed up, but make sure you don't land seat first because you'll wipe out. The last thing you need to know about tricks is how you can spam them. There are a lot of big jumps, so just press all the buttons and you'll do plenty of tricks. Just don't do a trick on the loop, otherwise you'll go flying in the opposite direction. One of the best things is that DMA successfully managed to give unicycles personality. When you win a race, your unicycle does a little dance and the loser bangs their seat on the ground. It's really cute. Of course, no racing game is complete without multiplayer, and Uniracers doesn't disappoint. The 2-player mode is fun, hectic, and exhilarating. It's a lot more fun than I expected it to be. It's just as fun as single player in my opinion. On the surface, Uniracers might not seem like much, but it's one of the best racing games I've ever played, and certainly one of the best Super Nintendo games I've ever played. Yes, I'll admit that it does look simple, but sometimes simplicity is all you need. It's got fun single-player and 2-player gameplay, great music, innovative graphics, and a whole lot of replay value. In my book, that makes it a winner.
I know this was a short video, but I just really wanted to talk to you about a game I found out about and highly recommend to anyone who can get their hands on it. And now, for something completely unrelated. New Coke, probably one of the most infamous things to happen in the 1980s. In 1985, Coke decided to get rid of their flagship Coca-Cola and replace it with something new. It got so bad that after 3 months, Coke was back under the brand name Coca-Cola Classic. But New Coke actually stayed until 2002 under the brand name Coke 2. But now as part of a marketing campaign with Stranger Things Season 3, New Coke is back, and when else am I gonna get to document this? I know, I did a whole thing about a Pepsi video, but whatever. Interesting. And because they knew you were gonna want to compare it, they sent bottles of regular Coke. I don't know why those are getting. Not gonna lie, this tastes like Pepsi. If Coke's plan was to make Pepsi, then it really is the worst plan ever. Okay, now we're just gonna make Coke. We're just gonna combine them. Spill in a little. No. Stay. It's hard to drink quickly out of a glass bottle. That tastes like Diet Coke. Regular Coke plus New Coke equals Diet Coke, but it's not Diet.